ever wonder why
What's up with it? It's your boy Expat D here. I want you to check out this video. Really important message.
Africans don't really like us? Well, I was married to an African. I remember we was having a conversation and I said to him, it just really seemed like y'all don't really like us. I was showing him a video. I said, this is what they show us of y'all, that y'all hungry, your ribs is hanging out. So I showed him the video of one of those commercials they would show us like 3 in the morning. Could you spare $1? He said, that is not us. He looked at that video, he laughed, and he said, who is that? He said, that is not us. He said, that's not them in Africa. That was never them starving. I said, what? So then I said, well, what is they showing y'all of us? He said the movies that they see of us is that we are, our men sell drugs, which they do. But they sell drugs and they just murder anything walking. They murder everybody. And so I said, well, what they show y'all about us? He said, they show them that we're prostitutes and we get high. And I was like, what? And so then he said when he went to get his papers from immigration or whoever he get the papers from to come here, he said they told him, don't marry a black woman. You be better off marrying a white woman. So when we're looking at this separateness that we have amongst each other, it was inbred in us. It was inbred to them to fear us. So they fear us and don't like us. We got to wake up, y'all, and come back together and unite in unity. There was things that was done and said to keep us apart.
Yeah, so I agree, man. The thing we have to look at is we definitely need to unite and we got to stop falling for the okie doke. This is nothing but the divide and conquer strategy through the media. Okay, so throughout history, oppressive systems have, they've thrived by trying to divide groups that should be allies. Definitely African Americans and Africans should be allies. No doubt about it. The media, they try to amplify stereotypes and try to show Africans and African Americans being portrayed as like violent and lazy. African Americans see Africans portrayed as poor, tribal, or corrupt. So what's the goal of all this? It's really just to prevent unity that could create a stronger black voice. That's really what they're trying to do, and we can't fall for this stuff. It's about controlling the black identity. Okay, controlling the narrative of the black identity. When Africans and African Americans argue about who's more authentic, or the bigger issue is the global black racism agenda gets ignored. Okay, the media narratives, what they're doing is they're pitting groups against each other instead of highlighting the shared struggles and the shared connections. Okay, and all they're doing is really they're taking stereotypes and they're reinforcing it. African Americans are often showed only through hip hop, crime, or sports. Okay, Africans are usually shown through poverty, war, or exotic safaris. Okay, these are very one-dimensional portrayals, and they fuel misunderstandings. So we got to overcome all this stuff. And you got economic and political power dynamics that are at stake. A united African and African American community would mean stronger business, political, and cultural influences worldwide. So this division keeps money, control, and narratives in the hands of outsiders. Okay? So anytime you're looking on social media and you see this Africans versus African American stuff, they're just trying to get clicks, man. And that's not what this narrative should be about. We definitely have to unify. Okay? That's so important. Okay? So whenever you see clips, of Africans criticize African Americans or vice versa, that it's getting pushed harder than unity focus because this type of conflict sells. What we need to do is we need to be thinking about unity. Okay? Unity is very important. We need to stop debating each other off this nonsense and really get an understanding, change the narrative so that we're understanding each other and we're building each other up. Anyway, that's my message for the day. I'm Expat D. Like, share, subscribe. You want to hear more content like this. And yeah, peace and I'm out.